already has
masalah
HIV, HIV
stigma.
can move to individual to individual. If they doing sexual activity, but we can
Sebagai
prevent
beban kan gini
by
antara HIV
not
dan
sharing body
C.
fluids, it means
C
that not
itu lebih mental
sharing
hepatitis C. Hepatitis C 100 kali lebih mudah
genital
menular dari HIV.
fluids, that
Prevalensinya
by using condom,
jauh
it
besar
means that by using condom, even we are doing high risk sexual activity, we didn't share our genital fluid. Even they have HIV, because the condom is some barrier, HIV cannot transmit to another people or their sexual partner. This is by using condom, always using condom, can reduce the transmissions. If they always using condom, we can prevent near zero transmissions. By circumcisions, if male circumcised, it means that their penis already remove the skin, foreskin, that easily entry by HIV. It means that by doing circumcisions, male can reduce the probability or the risk for transmissions even until 1/3 or 1/2, if not by doing the circumcisions. Even not 100%, we can prevent the transmissions, but by doing preventions, scientifically already proven that can reduce by transmissions, it means that why not promoting the circumcisions, especially among people or many male who not circumcised, but maybe they engage in high-risk sexual behavior. It means that by promoting condom and by promoting circumcisions, we can reduce the HIV transmissions through sexual activity. Thank you.
Okay, we move to other side. We go back to Erlangga. Do you could hear us and could ask question?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning, please.
Okay, we can hear you. My name is Sato from Unair Airlangga University Surabaya. ARV and the spread of HIV. In our governmental hospital, we have a special unit to treat HIV patient, and we distribute the ARV and also provide the social treatment such as peer education, peer encouraging, but our problem now, the prevalence of HIV patient is still growing, and even in terms of sexual behavior as a transmission mode, I personally see that the ARV treatment contribute to the spread of HIV, because the patient that took the ARV feel it's okay to continue promiscuity behavior, because they can take ARV as soon as they need if they are promiscuity behavior. So beside the social treatment provided can encourage their behavior, because in their community they feel not alone to do that promiscuity behavior, because they all do the same. So what do you think about it?
Okay, thank you. Good question about the ARV. We discussed about the ARV for prevention. Now you asked about the ARV as the risk factor for the transmission. Please, Dr. Pandu.
Okay. Actually, ARV is not for preventions. ARV is, we provide ARV for people already infected that have CD4 less than 200, or now people also promote less than 350, to make their life is more productive. It means that we have second chance to their life to be productive, because if we can stop the replications HIV in their body, it means that their immune will go back, but not the same with the before infections, but it means they can still produce as people like another human being. It means that by providing ARV, now people think HIV is not fatal disease anymore. It's become chronic disease. It will be happens if all people already infected got access for ARV. But before they got access for ARV, they should got access for testing. It means that it's still far away that ARV can contribute to the lowering transmissions. Even we actually observe in among people who got ARV, is IV level, we call it viral load in their blood or in the body fluid is very low. They said is undetectable. It means that because undetectable, it means that these people is not infectious anymore. But this is not happen. In Indonesia, it's too late. Many people got ARV already late. CD4 already 10, 20, 50. It means that not in the where the CD4 is still good. I mean the immune system is not, it's already bad damage, and then they got ARV. Yes, that's true. That maybe some people say that if I got ARV and I'm not infectious anymore, and then I can engage sexual behavior. But actually, they forgot. Maybe they not infect other sexual partner, but they will get still be reinfected. It means that if you still engaging behavior like I am HIV positive from drug user, but I'm still using drugs and still sharing needles. It means that I introduce to my body by engaging sexual behavior. It means that we introduce many HIV, many type of HIV, because HIV is very mutable. It means that mutable virus. It means that people can have some impact on ARV if they stop their behavior, because they stopping also become reinfection again. It means that this is the, we can ask to the people who want to receive ARV, because this is also still free. They should change their behavior. It means they should stop their risk behavior, because stop the reinfections. It means make the ARV success to stop the replications that is HIV in their body. This is my comment about your opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pandu. And next slide is UI Salemba. Do you have any question? Please, UI Salemba.
Okay, good morning, Prof. Pandu. I'm Taufik from UI Salemba. The question is, in your in your slide of number 17, you wrote about change T, but you pass to explain the slide of 17 slide, the change T. What's the meaning of change T? Thank you.
Okay, this is about the question of your slide that you are not discussing. About the, and then it's titled change T. What is the meaning of change T?
I mean, change the paradigm.
Okay.
I can't hear you from KL.
Okay, sorry. I forgot to on my microphones.
Thank you.
In one of my slides is typing error because actually if we want to stop the epidemic, we should using the HIV prevention activity that already proven scientifically in some study or any study in the world. That now already proven is 3. Is promoting reducing sexual partner, and then the second in circumcisions, and the third is promoting condom use. This is 3 kind of the HIV prevention tool that should be promoting, because if we want to reformulate our policy, how we can prevent the epidemic, it should be evidence-based. The evidence-based so that reducing sexual partner by promoting circumcisions and by promoting condom use already show declining of HIV transmissions in many countries in the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Pandu. And next slide is UI Depok, please. UI Depok, do you have any question, please?
UI Depok.
Three of these methods to prevent the HIV. How about the needle? How the needle exchange program? I think there are several evidence that using new needle or no sharing needle also reduce infection. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Pandu. Your comment about the needle exchange program?
Okay, the needle is by promoting needle exchange program, we just stop the transmissions among intravenous drug user. This is what I talk is how we can prevent the HIV transmissions beyond their high-risk group. It means that if we contain the epidemic only in the drug user, it means that it's not enough, because actually drug user also still has some high-risk sexual activity. The data show that 40% IDU in Jakarta is both sex. It means that the HIV continue transmit to sex work activity because they have sex with another high risk group. You can see by look at the diagram about the killings among different key populations. You can see if you just promoting needle exchange program, it's not stopping the epidemic. It's just stopping the HIV transmissions among drug user and continue to another activity. But by promoting, reducing sexual partner, by promoting circumcisions, by promoting condom use, we can stop the epidemic. I mean, the link among sick population, we can stop the link. It means the transmissions will not go beyond the risk group, but still in the risk group, and maybe they will declining. It means we can prevent the people in the community. In the epidemic, the needle stick program is just temporary, stop the epidemic only in that group. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Pandu. And we already connected again to Udayana. Udayana, Bali, do you have any question? Udayana University, Bali, do you have any question for Dr. Pandu?
I have few questions regarding male circumcision.
Okay.
Can you hear me,
Please.
Dr. Pandu?
Yeah, please.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with Dr. Pandu that ample evidence shows that male circumcision has been effective to reduce the risk of HIV transmission. Even the WHO has recommended that male circumcision could be one method of prevention. However, in non-traditionally circumcised community, the acceptability is remain controversial and remain low. Can you give me a comment on how we can improve this acceptability in this community? And my second question is regarding many concern about the male circumcision, that people after being circumcised usually got false security that they may conduct a more unsafe behavior. And the third question is regarding the Papua situation. From your previous lecture, the main risk factor is multi-sexual partner. Is it possible that male circumcision also one factor that contribute in the Papua situation? Because as I know, the community at Papua is also uncircumcised traditionally. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, Pak Pandu.
Okay, thank you. I will answer these good questions from the Papua, because IBBS, I mean Integrated Biological Behavior Survey among general population in Papua show that uncircumcised men has high rate of HIV infected compared to other circumcised. It means that in Papua also provide evidence that circumcisions can be one of the prevention tool that should be promoted in Papua. Not only Papua, maybe to the other regions in Indonesia. Because, and I already introduced this concept maybe 3 years ago, that now already accepted by provincial national commissions. I saw in the communication strategic, they will trying promoting circumcisions among people in Papua. It means that by promoting circumcisions, it means that we still have difficulty that you mentioned about the barrier, how the acceptance among male, how to reduce the misperceptions about security, because if you already promote circumcision, might be the man who circumcised will do more high-risk behavior because they believe they're less circumcised. We should tell them that circumcision is not protect 100% to be infected, because the data show only maximum only half or one-third and half reduce the possibility transmissions. But this is the still prevention's impact still bigger than if we can develop the vaccine. The vaccine, if we can develop, maybe can prevent only 40%. the maximum for the prevention. It means that we still have difficulty, but I know that acceptance can be difficult, but by doing the promoting strategically and by communications behavior, and mean that maybe in the future many people want to circumcise because this is one of the possible preventions tool that to be infected by HIV, and not by, it means that we can explore the why circumcision is better than uncircumcised. Maybe hygiene, maybe a pressure. If we can find the circumcised male is get more pleasure in the sexual activity compared the uncircumcised male. We don't know. It means that we can sell this idea to the populace, to the male, that circumcised is the one of the best way to get risk, to get less risk. But not only that, it means that it's very difficult to see the impact in the community if you only promoting one preventions. But by combining, reducing sexual partner, circumcisions, and condom use, you stop the epidemic, because this kind of combining HIV preventions can reduce significantly HIV transmission through high-risk sexual activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we go back to UGM. Could you ask the question? If you like to ask the question, please. Have you resolved the technical problem there? UGM, do you have any question?
Morning. Good
Please.
morning. Actually, we just joined the teleconference just already, so we don't hear all of your presentation. But I have one question. You have talked that the circumcision can prevent and reduce the risk of HIV prevention for a male, for a man. I want to ask, what about a woman? Is there something that can be done for a woman besides use condom? Just it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Pak Pandu, please.
Okay, thank you. From Gajah Mada. You know that in Asia, mostly the high-risk group is male. We can see that if we can prevent men to be infected, it means that we can prevent their sexual partner, woman, also to be infected. It means by promoting male circumcisions can give directly reducing also the woman to be infected, because most of the HIV infected among women in Asia or around the world is because they got from their sexual partner is male. It means that by promoting male circumcision, yes, we can see the impact to the female too, especially their sexual partner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We already give, I think, every side to ask the question, and now it's already 10 o'clock. So we end this first session today. So as a conclusion or summary, we just listened to Dr. Pandu lecture about the prevention of HIV/AIDS behavior perspective and intervention, and Dr. Pandu already described what the behavior perspective and the intervention, and introduced the concept of PCC, partner reduction, condom and circumcision, as a strategy for preventing the HIV in Indonesia and Asia region. So we close the first session here, and then we have a break for 5 minutes, and then we continue for the second session today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now we will come to the session 6. So the session 6, we will talk about the psychosocial impact of HIV/AIDS. Right now, we already have Professor Irwanto. So Professor Irwanto is a professor of psychology from Atma